Greetings and salutations, folks. My name's Nick, and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition, where, before I get into it, the last few days for myself have been terrible and exhausting. I also lost most of my voice for a couple of those days. I still haven't fully recovered it, but I am close enough to 100%. Not there, but close enough that I can actually speak, which is good. And I also want to talk a little bit about Dragon Age Inquisition, but I've made a mistake, and we're going to begin rectifying this mistake by going to the War Council first, before we discuss the mistake I've made and the problem with Dragon Age Inquisition's pacing. I have a bunch of operations to do. Let's see, we had Red Jenny attends a party. How do I best describe it? Our noble target was angered by the distraction of our soldiers and, in an attempt to regain attention, accidentally stabbed a revered mother in the hat. Somehow Red Jenny is the assumed benefactor, but we have received several propositions from witnesses to the events. Raynor was brought to the Skyhold gates under cover of darkness. Best not ask how. Okay, we're gonna have to probably try him in the chair. Okay. 8 minutes and 30 seconds. This is good. 6 minutes and 30 seconds? Even better. The Avar of Stone Bear Hold. Also, the fact that I feel as though my Macho Man Randy Savage impression there was better than my usual Macho Man Randy Savage impression. I don't know, like, sometimes it's like when your voice just cuts out on you and you're like, wow, I can't speak at all. And then you're like, oh yeah, step into a Slim Jim. Are you ready? Bone saws ready? Like, somehow that's easier to do than my own normal voice. The Avar of Stone Bearhold greatly respect Tirda Brightaxe, the legendary founder of the Avar. An earlier search located the spot where many of Tirda Brightaxe's possessions were left. Her body, of course, had been destroyed in accordance with how the Avar deal with their dead. While her weapon, apparently a mage's staff rather than an axe, may no longer be available, Stone Bearhold would likely appreciate other relics found at the site. Josephine. The Avar respect gifts. If we present Turdo's relics with ceremony, they will be grateful.
At your service.
Yeah, like I said, I'm still not 100%. Which kind of indicates where I was before. Shall we stop the rumors first? It's 51 minutes. Delicate negotiations. Okay, these are longer ones. This can't be done without Josephine. All of these are a little bit long, and this is going to lead to the issue that I'm... Oh my gosh, yeah, that's 3 hours and 24 minutes. Five hours. Another 5 hours. So many of these long operations. What do they expect out of me? Investigate Elven Ruins. Inquisitor, we have made progress as Dinan Hanin, the Tomb of the Emerald Knights. The structure appears more extensive than we had thought. As my keeper was not interested in this endeavor, perhaps the Inquisition might be willing to aid us. I would hate to return home empty-handed. I trust the spirit of cooperation would benefit us both. Besides, it's rather exciting. I imagine the place must pique your curiosity as well. A few of our soldiers met with the elves at Dinan Hanin, the elven ruins and the emerald graves. Their leader, Tavin, wishes to work with us as a sign of cooperation between the Inquisition and his clan. Some of his party are wary of our presence, and the Inquisition's intentions. Our interest in strengthening our relationship with the Dalish could appear more genuine if you meet with them in person. Cullen. Alright, we'll worry about that in a second, and that actually is nice because that'll give us something to do. Yeah, we're not going to support Cassandra just yet. All these long-ass operations. Okay, everything's going to take a while, so let's settle on one of these 39-minute operations over in Ferelden, because that way they'll be able to finish up, and we'll be able to start... If only you were able to filter out incomplete ones from complete ones. Far off, from far off Montsimard, a songstress comes with lies, and thoughtless gibes insults our name. I hated her in school. She pulled my hair. We must not let her make these vulgar claims. No, this is ridiculous. Leliana, you're gonna chop off this minstrel's tongue? That's just too far.
Inquisitor.
I agree with Colin. This is dumb. I'm not gonna have somebody's tongue chopped off because you didn't get along with her in school. Alright, let's see. What else can we... I think that was the only other short one. Gather cloth. Blah, blah, blah. What Pride had wrought is the next major mission. Alright, let's do this. The Imperial Army. Let's see. My agents can scout and divert. Will aid the Inquisition's fortress... Is this relatively short? No, this is one of the long ones. Damn it, Trebek. The Imperial Army will aid the Inquisition's forces against Corypheus, but they must also address lingering issues at home. Weaknesses in the Vale, no doubt heightened due to writs, have resulted in demons on the road between Valforot and Montsimard. This would demand a call to action at the best of times. Unfortunately, the increased number of travelers in the roads, merchants attempting to restore trade and displaced civilians returning home after the war has made the situation worse. The head of the Imperial Army has requested assistance from the Inquisition in subduing this threat. I doubt the army needs the... should we... Yeah, we'll save this for Cullen. So yeah, let's have Leliana take care of Kirkwall. The worst of the mage rebellion is now past. However, the mage who started all, who destroyed the Chantry in Kirkwall, and murdered Grand Cleric Althena and dozens of the innocent faithful is still at large. That would be, his name escapes me right now. Anders, yeah. The fanatic Anders must be brought to justice. Though he may no longer be in the city, is still home to many of his known associates. I thus resolved to invade Kirkwall to locate Anders. But Starkhaven's annexation of this notoriously troubled city has not proceeded as planned. The city's resistance opposes me. They forget that I do this for the good of the city and for all of the free marches. As a staunch ally of the Inquisition, I entreat support for this endeavor, that Kirkwall may be brought under control before more innocents are harmed. Let's see. Huh. So she's actually going to be opposing Aveline. Cullen is going to... Oh my gosh. I actually oppose Leliana in this case too. Damn it, Leliana. Oh, this is done. Good job. Stone Bearhold is extremely grateful for the relics. According to Thane Sunhair, their recovery has already spawned new tales of their legendary leader, and of the Inquisition that offered such a generous gift. It is interesting to note that the Avar were completely unsurprised by Turda being a mage. While it was lost to Ferelden history, it was evidently taken as an unspoken truth among the Avar, and we got the Jade Ham. What on earth is a Jade Ham? Inquisitor. Oh my gosh, 15 hours. Here's the thing, I don't even own a mask. Thus, when the Orlesian Empress invites me to engage in real peace talks, I get nervous. I don't know what Orlesians mean when they say that, but I hear it involves poison and dancing? Perhaps both at the same time. I'm told you know Empress Celine, and she owes you for that whole saved your life business. Considering you also helped save mine, perhaps the Inquisition could help make these talks happen. King Alistair, therein.
At your service.
Alright, Josephine, start work on that. Leliana, do something I'll agree with you with. Okay, this might be fine. Sarah cannot simply vandalize our reports. There is no record of any of this. Inquisition leaders, I have reports of gathering of resources to be moved into divinatory hands. I send this with the hope that you have the means to track who may be responsible. I overheard the possibility, but further inquiry yielded no more detail. It's unfolding well above my station. Sir Gaston of Wilderville. Sarah has scrawled several notes below, also a sketch of a randy nug herder. Squire with a limp says horses for 20, small force. 3 farmers say they were kicked out of homes. Route. Merchant says the carts are heavy for carrying armor weapons. Says they shortchanged him, so he didn't tell about the wobbly wheel. We'll slow them through the pass. Easy pickings, right? A few altered signs will waylay them in the Vinmarks. A trade caravan will have supplies to last. If their stock happens to be mostly weapons, they won't last long.
Let's see what we have.
So basically, it's kind of running to the idea like, we're suspicious of them. They might be up to stuff. But if they're not up to stuff, they should be fine. So anyway, Dragon Age Inquisition and pacing issues. Dragon Age Inquisition wants to give you a lot of things to do. You look at Dragon Age, I mentioned this before, you look at Dragon Age Origins. And in Dragon Age Origins, oh, by the way, Jade Ham. Like, what on earth is that? Why do I have this many items? I don't do anything with them. What is the Jade Ham listed under? Okay. So Dragon Age Origins gave you like several paths to choose from. You could go to the mages, you could go to Red Ridge, you could go to the Orzammar, you could go to Denerim, you can go to the Dalish, and like you could complete the story in whichever order you chose. Dragon Age 2 was more linear, and had its own act-based structure. And with Dragon Age Inquisition, it feels like they wanted to try to go back to the more non-linear approach that Dragon Age Origins went with. But its non-linear approach went too hard, to the point where it feels as though the story is secondary to the side quests. Like, you spend so much time wandering about from open world to open world that the main quest itself gets put on a very long, almost indefinite hold. Now then, if you compare this, for instance, to, say, Mass Effect 2. In Mass Effect 2, you have your main story missions and your side missions that are not directly attached to it. Some more than others. But ultimately, like, you have to complete, like, specific plot important missions. And once you complete those plot important missions, you can keep going with the central storyline. But the way that Mass Effect 2 does it is once you're ready to go to... Once you've completed the main prerequisites for the central storyline, it just forces that next mission to happen. The storyline continues itself, as opposed to, like, the storyline always waiting in the background for you to go back to it. It has its side missions, and then it pulls you back in. You thought you were out of the main story, but it pulled you back in to the main one. There was no escape. And with Dragon Age Inquisition, it just says, go ahead, roam free. The main storyline isn't more or less important. And the limiting factor is power. You gain power as you do side missions. And it basically wants to say, hey, you accumulate enough power so that you can access this mission. And in theory, this would mean, hey, this mission costs me 15 power. I will collect 15 power, and that means I'm ready to do that mission. In practice, this means, like, I'm just going to do all of the quests in this area. Now I have too much power. Now I've bought the power for all of these missions. Now I don't know what is next. And because of that, I found myself in a situation where, like, the game expects you to do these operations while you're off doing something or in between playing the game. But because I've already done all of the open world sections, like, I can't just set an operation, leave, and then come back the next day expecting it to be done while just doing these open world areas. I actually have to either continue the main story or stop playing altogether, just so that I can keep myself from getting too far ahead while the operations are in progress, because completing the next story mission will likely unlock more operations that need to be done. That said, we still have a few things to do around here, like Judge Blackwall, aka Thomas Rainier. We still have people to talk to around these parts. And that's pretty much all we're going to do today. Why do I have... Is this what I chose for myself? I mean, I'll go with it. These, like, nude statues of... What is the race that Iron Bull is? I forget the name of that. Of his race. Right at the moment. Alright, let's sit down and judge. See what Rainier has to say for himself. He's
For
probably going to
judgment
feel
this day,
guilty.
Inquisitor, I must present Captain Tom Rainier, formerly known to us as Warden Blackwall. His crimes... well, you are aware of his crimes. The decision of what to do with him is yours.
And most importantly, we need to talk to Leliana to see what she thinks about being a next divine.
I didn't think this would be easy, but it's harder than I thought.
Another thing to regret. Using your ties to the underworld to free me. You're a criminal, same as me. The world will learn how you've used your influence. They'll know the Inquisition is corrupt.
Once the world is back to normal, no one will even remember this.
I'll remember. I accepted my punishment. I was ready for all this to end. Why would you stop it? What becomes of me now?
Give Rainier to the Wardens. I own you. Now. Make amends for his crimes. One second while I look up the ramifications of this decision, because I kind of like both freeing him or the Wardens decide. Alright, I've noticed some people have made some good arguments as to why you'd want to hand him over to the Wardens, because he's always kind of idolized the Wardens, so having him try to become one of them is a fitting end for him. But I also agree with other arguments saying that the Wardens are basically a place for people to go and die. Like, they're not necessarily good career-wise. You're just shortening your life significantly. I would like him to redeem himself as he is.
You have your freedom.
It cannot be as simple as that.
It isn't. You're free to atone as the man you are, not the traitor you thought you were, or the warden you pretended to be.
The man I am. I barely know him. But I have a lot to make up for. If my future is mine, then I pledge it to the Inquisition. My sword is yours. If I'd said anything less, would an arrow from the rookery have snuffed me like a candle?
Take your post, Tom Rainier.
Also, I don't need your sword. You can't fight much if I have your sword. Psh. Alright, let's actually go talk to Rainier, see what he has to say, if he has anything new to say. Actually, or talk to Varric right now.
I need to have a few words with my publisher. The first one will be you, and the second one will be Bastard. They've claimed for years my crime serials don't sell in Orlais. So why is the Council of Heralds asking me for autographs? Sorry, distracted. Anyway, you need something?
Carry on.
Alright, Varric doesn't have anything to say, that's fine. And also we have another operation. We don't need more operations. We've already got too many operations. I'm gonna have to start recording for like 5 minutes just to send out some operations. I bought some of these the other day and it seemed like they did nothing. Like, am I not able to increase my influence anymore? Have I maxed out my influence? I feel like I've maxed out my influence, and I just don't know if that's a thing. I'll have to look that up.
Inquisitor?
How shall I refer to you? Rainier or Blackwall?
I've gotten used to Blackwall. Perhaps we could treat it as less of a name and more of a title. Almost like Inquisitor. Reminds me of what I ought to be.
Everyone needs something to aspire to.
Exactly. I'm glad you understand.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit.
And I fear nobody will have anything for me to do. Have I talked to Cullen yet? I haven't talked to Cullen yet. So I need to talk to him. I've already talked to Morrigan. Yes. Who, it's unfortunate she's not going to be in the party herself. But, you take your victories when they come. Let's grab some Blood Lotus so we can make more jars of bees. Because we need to send more bees at our enemy. And then let's go talk to Josephine. See how she's doing.
How bracing to be in the thick of the game again. The last time I was at Alam Shiral was Countess Letienne's wedding. There were a dozen affairs, 5 secret alliances, and a duel between 2 chevaliers over the vintage of an Antivan port. But until the Duchess was unmasked, I've never seen the Winter Palace in shock.
You don't see the Empress of Orlais almost killed in cold blood every day.
Not so brazen.
That rhymed.
The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. Corypheus skillfully took advantage. It's disturbing so few people in the Orlesian court were aware of the Duchess's machinations.
The Empress realized she was in danger.
She's always in danger. Those loyal to her should have practiced more vigilance. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors alike.
My favorite moment of the evening is still our waltz in the garden.
I could have danced with you for hours. We must do it again sometime. I was hoping you'd be by. We've received letters from Archon Redanus of Tevinter and King Marcus of Nevada. For both monarchs to come to us is nearly unheard of.
Then the Inquisition's deeds have won their respect.
They'd never have contacted us otherwise. Archon Redanus requests that the Inquisition, as a neutral party, destroy a Venatori cult on the Nevaran-Tevinter border. King Marcus asks the same, but demands we pledge allegiance to Nevara instead of Tevinter.
Well, normally I'm kind of against Tevinter. Like, Tevinter has kind of been terrible.
What course of action would you take if you were in my place?
Strained as their relationship with Orlais is, I would assist the Imperium. Their friendship is difficult to win, and Marcus is a fading power. Tevinter is the longer, richer game.
What sort of man is the King of Navarra?
At this point, elderly. Many fear his health will soon fail him. Still, he is a Pentagast. Their dynasty is exceptionally strong in Navarra.
As a Pentagast, will Cassandra be upset if we don't help her relatives?
With all respect to Sikar Pentagast, her interest in politics is best described as thin.
Why is the ruler of Tevinter turning on the Venatori?
He has little reason to love them. Archon Redanus has rightly identified Corypheus as competition. Few monarchs relish a self-styled god showing up to claim their throne.
Tell me about Redanus.
Like most Tevinter rulers, he's heir to an ancient bloodline, politically shrewd, and a highly skilled mage. Rumor also claims he has an incredibly soft spot for cats.
All right, so we'll help Tevinter. I feel like Josephine made very strong points.
Tell the Archon the Inquisition will do Tevinter the favor of wiping out the Venatori on its borders.
Very good.
Unfortunately, this probably will
Inform him
mean
at once.
another operation. No? No new operations? Hold on. For some reason, the game is not letting me speak to Josephine. Let us... there we go.
Yes.
Has our being together set any tongues wagging?
Besides our own.
Rumor already gave you a dozen suitors the moment you took your title.
Who were these rumors pairing me with?
I can only speak to what was whispered in several courts.
Josephine.
To begin with, Cassandra, Leliana, Colin, Dorian, Mother Giselle, Enchanter Fiona, Chancellor Roderick, 3 Rs, 2 Counts, and some man named Philip. Honestly, I don't think he even exists.
I thought we might go somewhere a little more private for a while.
I have so much to do, but... Oh, let's do. After you.
And yes, our private space is the courtyard. The public's courtyard. Where Morrigan hangs out. Along with her child. She's right there! She's just right over there with her kid. This is our private space.
I imagine your forces will be heading into the Arbor Wilds very soon, Inquisitor. Trust me when I say that wherever the Alluvian is hidden, it is worth any effort to prevent Corypheus from acquiring it.
You seem to know a great deal about elven lore.
The Dalish are not the only ones interested in the distant past, Inquisitor. Indeed, my skills allow me access to places the Dalish dare not even dream of. The ancient elves hold secrets they have not yet given up. Secrets about the foundation of Thedas itself. Thus, they are my focus. Corypheus clearly feels the same.
Now that you've seen the Inquisition up close, what are your impressions?
'Tis remarkable what you have built. I will give you that. Leliana has built a network of spies beyond anything Thedas has seen. All this in precious little time, conjured from thin air through the power of fervor alone. I wonder if Corypheus suspected what he was enabling, just as I wonder what will become of all this once he is defeated.
I have no idea what will happen once all this is over.
Do you not? No doubt there will be countless men and women with suggestions.
Because power abhors a
Where
vacuum.
heights you reach, Inquisitor. When this is
All
done,
of this power
many
must go
will be
somewhere.
eager to knock you back down.
I'd like to know more about you.
If you have questions, then ask.
I have no questions.
I'll leave you to the garden.
As you like.
Good talk. Good talk. Hold on. Can I plant that, Royal something something. Now I can't. Alright, let us go talk to Solus, who we are now no longer romancing. Wait, no, he's not through here. He is through here. Solus, buddy pal.
There are spirits hovering by the veil to observe the thrones of powerful nations, the machinations, betrayals. After our time in Halam Shiral, I understand why. I had forgotten how I missed court intrigue.
You missed court intrigue? When were you at court?
Oh, well, never directly, of course. An elven apostate is rarely invited to speak with empresses and kings. But from the Fade, I have watched dynasties form and empires crumble. It is sometimes savage, sometimes noble, and always fascinating. In any event, Celine should now be a steadfast ally, especially after helping her neutralize Briala.
I hope you know that I didn't turn over Briala lightly. If I'd had another option...
What? Why would I disapprove of... Oh, because we're both elves.
All three of us are elves.
I was confused. I do not consider myself to have much in common with the elves.
Who do you have much in common with? Who are your people?
A good question. I joined the Inquisition to save the world. Regardless of who my people are, this was the best way to help them. As for the elves of Orlais, Briala did what she could. She was an admirable woman, even if her gambit failed.
Even if we couldn't help Briala, I hope we can make life better for Orlesian elves.
Stop Corypheus. That will do for a start. It speaks well of you to feel for the oppressed. Help them for that. Know them for what they are, instead of just seeing a pair of pointed ears.
Oh, Solus.
My friend.
Is that it? That's it. Okay, our romance is dead. It cannot be revived. No dialogue options have replaced themselves. Cullen, buddy. No, you're not Cullen. You're...
Inquisitor, if you're looking for the commander, he's gone to speak with Seeker Pentagast.
Okay. Why is Cullen going off to talk to Cassandra?
Grand, isn't it? To know the sanctity of our great
And why do I have to do it in there? Cassandra's right there.
You asked for my opinion, and I've given it. Why would you expect it to change?
I expect you to keep your word. It's relentless. I can't...
You give yourself too little credit.
If I'm unable to fulfill what vows I kept, then nothing good has come of this. Would you rather save face than admit...
Oh, is it Cullen's addiction to lyrium because he's a
Speak of this
Templar?
later.
I think it's Cullen's
And
addiction to
people
lyrium
say
because he's a
I'm
Templar.
stubborn. This is ridiculous. Cullen told you that he's no longer taking lyrium.
It seemed very important to him.
It's not a decision to be made lightly. But now, Cullen has asked that I recommend a replacement for him. I refused. It's not necessary. Besides, it would destroy him. He's come so far.
Why didn't he come to me?
We had an agreement long before you joined us. As a Seeker, I could evaluate the dangers.
Is there anything we can do to change his mind?
If anyone could, it's you. Mages have made their suffering known, but Templars never have. They are bound to the Order, mind and soul, with someone always holding their lyrium leash. Cullen has a chance to break that leash, to prove to himself, and anyone who would follow suit, that it's possible. He can do this. I knew that when we met in Kirkwall. Talk to him. Decide if now is the time.
Yeah, I suppose that's the thing. Like, is the lack of lyrium closer to the calling with the Grey Warden? Or is the lack of lyrium more like going cold turkey on addictions to like alcoholism or to nicotine, where you're like your body just craves it and falls apart from the lack of it? But given enough time, it adjusts to the absence. To a point. There's always the need, the desire for.
Maker's breath. I didn't hear you enter. Forgive me.
Don't worry, I've got a few hit points left.
Cullen, if you need to talk.
You don't have to. I never meant for this to interfere.
I believe you.
But whatever good it does, promises me nothing if I cannot keep it. Did you know Ferelden's circle was taken over by abominations? I was there. The Templars, my friends, were slaughtered.
I was there too, in another character in another game.
I was tortured. They tried to break my mind, and I... How can you be the same person after that? Still, I wanted to serve. They sent me to Kirkwall. I trusted my Knight Commander, and for what? Her fear of mages ended in...
Well, she also had this kind of like totem that... This idol that was corrupted.
Innocent people died in the streets. Can't you see why I want nothing to do with that life?
With everything that's happened, you've picked a bad time to start over.
I should have seen that. I thought this would be better. That I would regain some control over my life, but these thoughts won't leave me. How many lives depend on our success? I swore myself to this cause. I will not give less to the Inquisition than I did to Chantry. I should be taking it. I should be taking it.
You give enough, Cullen. I'm not asking you for more. The Inquisition can be your chance to start over, if you want it to be.
I don't know if that's possible.
It is.
No, keep using the performance-enhancing drugs that you're addicted to. I'm not gonna do that. Cullen, buddy, pal.
I need a moment. Could we speak another time?
Pal, Cullen, buddy.
Could we speak another time?
All right. Okay, let's go upstairs. We've got to talk to Vivian, who I've almost forgotten about this entire game. Dorian, you're here too.
Business, the Winter Palace. You saved an empress, and now she's eating out of your hand. Perfect mental image. All this dancing, politics, and murder. Makes me a bit homesick.
Sometimes I forget how short my character is in comparison to everybody. And, like, the whole time in Orlais, like, the dance scene in Orlais just reminded me that I made a very short character. Or the other character is just really tall.
That's something you'd like to do more often, then?
Watch as you twist an entire empire around your little finger. Yes, please. Of course, that leaves only Tevinter. And it wouldn't work as well there.
No. Why not?
Our dances are so much more intense. If an evening lacks a murder, we sniff and call it a ball. I hope you tried the ham they were serving, by the way. Tasted of despair. It's fascinating.
Okay, that's good.
Go.
Here I thought we were just getting to the good part.
There's nothing else. We've already covered the parts. Let's drop off research. I have nothing to drop off. Vivian, buddy, pal. You looked fantastic.
My dear, I'm afraid I must ask you for help.
She always looks fantastic.
There is an alchemical formula that I must complete, but I have been unable to obtain a critical ingredient. The heart of a snowy wyvern. I had arranged to obtain one, but the chevaliers working with me were killed in the Civil War. I'll do what I can. Thank you, my dear. I would be most grateful. I shall give the location of its lair to Cullen. Remember, my dear, I must have its heart, or the potion will not work.
Damn it, I brought you its buttocks. Oh, and I also forgot. Oh,
How
no.
may I help you?
Trying to... There we go. I forgot that Cullen finished his mission, so I really should have him work on something else. While I have the chance. So, let us summon the War Council just to send... Like, Josephine's gonna be busy for a while. Leliana should be almost done. Because she's on a 51 minute, I think. Oh, never mind. I sent her in a longer one. What did I want? Yes. I'm gonna have Cullen hamper Sebastian so that we could help out Captain Aveline.
Are you well?
A headache, nothing more. Inquisitor.
Yeah. Which unfortunately means no more operations. Actually, I think I've just figured out how I'm going to handle the rest of the operations. It's kind of dumb, but it'll work. Maybe. For now, let's go talk to Leliana. She's at the, I think she's the only one remaining for me to talk to. Leliana, I hear you're a candidate for the Divine.
True. Some look to Cassandra or even me as Justinia's successor. I never thought the idea would gain momentum. Of course, with the other candidates out of the picture...
Is becoming divine something you really want?
When Justinia was alive, I would have laughed at anyone who even suggested that I could be her successor. Things have changed. Still, I don't know. Restoring the Chantry will be like trying to steer a sinking vessel through a storm.
Whoever becomes divine will have my support if she requires it.
And I'm sure whoever becomes divine will absolutely require the Inquisition's backing. The Chantry is faltering, but it still has influence over the people. Who tells the people what's right? Who do they look to in times of peril? A divine with enough support can change the Chantry. And with it, Thedas. But this is a discussion for later. If Corypheus wins, finding a new divine will be the least of our problems.
Hmm.
A message from Divine Justinia. That's a shock. You're right reading it. Thank you for the concern, Inquisitor. But I am. This message was written months, perhaps even years ago, to be delivered to me if she died. I've heard of such contingency plans. A sudden death often leaves loose ends. I'm to go to Valence, a small village on the waking sea. There is something hidden there. I'll help in whatever way I can. Wonderful. I was hoping you would agree to come with me to Valence. One more thing. If what is hidden in Valence is as valuable as I think, we're not going to be the only ones looking for it. I shall meet you at the Chantry in Valence. Try not to delay.
Alright, so I guess we do have a couple things we can do, which is good. For now, though. Alright, let's see where we can go now. We have the Snowy Heart. Where is the Black Emporium? Ah, alright, there is the Valence Cloister. We will bring Sarah, who, once again, she just looks like an absolute rock star in this portrait. Like, she falls apart socially. But as her profession, as a rogue, like, this is her embodiment. But let us go help out Leliana first. That seems a little bit more important than getting the Wyvern Heart. Is this the church that Leliana went to in the beginning in the prequel of Dragon Age Origins, or is this just a different church?
It's just as I remember it.
Is it?
You didn't tell me you'd been here before. After the Blight ended, I came here to see Justinia.
Oh, okay, never mind.
She was just Dorothea then, a revered mother. I didn't expect it to be so deserted. It makes me uneasy. It's a small village and it's too early for the chant. I'm sure the sisters are somewhere.
Leliana, is that you?
Sister Natalie, what are you doing here? I thought you were in Val Rayo.
No, I've been here since Justinia died. This place makes me feel like she's still with us.
Inquisitor, this is Natalie, a trusted friend.
Wait, Inquisitor? You brought the Inquisitor here? My lady, forgive me for not recognizing you earlier.
You'll pay. That's okay.
I wish more people would fail to recognize me.
Oh, I see.
Natalie, listen. There is something hidden here. Something Justinia left for me.
Oh, really? What is it?
I don't know, but we'll find it. I'm curious to see what brought us all here. Justinia's letter came with instructions for me. They were a little cryptic. Always remember that faith sprung from a barren branch, that light has no fear of darkness. Above all, that strength lives in an open heart.
She must be hinting at something in here. Let's look around.
Do they still sing verses from the benedictions every Friday? That canticle was Justinia's favorite.
Yes, of course. We'd never give up the traditions of our most beloved divine.
That is lovely to hear. I stare up at the breach sometimes. It's terrifying.
I mean, it doesn't seem that hidden.
Spectacular, isn't it? You must be careful, Natalie. And the Sunburst Throne. What was that? Looks like we opened something. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Good old Leliana was playing you the whole time. Didn't you realize?
They never sing the benedictions here on Fridays, Natalie. Something so simple. And you got it so wrong. I wanted to believe, but you were lying from the start. Keep that pretty mouth shut if you must, dear. You've already told me everything I need to know. The prickleweed burrs on your hem, talking about the sun rising through the breach. It all points to a single place. Morel in the Dales, Grand Cleric Victoire's bastion. She sent you, didn't she? Victoire was always an opportunist.
Who is this Grand Cleric? I've never heard of her.
An experienced cleric. She never agreed with Justinia, but kept her ideas to herself. I suppose now, with Justinia dead, she thought she could make her move.
I want to know what this Grand Cleric planned here.
She sent Natalie here to see what Justinia was hiding, no?
The Inquisition has turned Thedas away from the true chantry. It must be stopped.
Stop us? You must be joking.
Mother Victoire is well loved by many. The Inquisition has more enemies than you know.
And Victoire thinks she can ally with them.
We don't have to be at odds, Natalie. You could come with us, join the Inquisition.
I was called to serve the Grand Cleric. I will not betray her. Kill me then. I am not afraid to die for my beliefs. At least I still know what I believe.
We don't have to kill her.
No. I must protect the Inquisition. She is an enemy.
Punch her!
I see what you've become. The righteous stand before the darkness, and the Maker shall guide them.
She kills her anyway. Huh. The righteous did stand before the darkness, I suppose.
No! This can't be it. There's nothing here.
It's not what you expected. That doesn't mean it's nothing.
There's a message carved in the lid. The left hand should lay down her burden. She's releasing me. The divine has a long reach, but it is always her left hand that stretches out. 1,000 lies, 1,000 deaths. Her commands, but my conscience that bore the consequences.
She apologized in the Fade. She said she failed you. This is what she meant.
All this time, Justinia carried the fear that she was using me. Just like I'd been used in the past. But Marjolaine's games were trifles. Justinia gambled with the fate of nations. She needed me. No one else could have done what I did. She knows that.
Then you have to let it go. Let her go. You don't owe her anything anymore.
This? Now? After everything you've said and done? I hesitated with Butler, but you never did. You gave me confidence that killing him was the right answer. And my poor dear Natalie. I called her sister once, but I couldn't risk leaving her alive. Don't tell me to let it all go after all I've sacrificed to get here. Justinia tried to save me, but all it's done is made me realize I don't need saving. There is work to be done. I'll see you back at Skyhold.
I had blue quality items. Also, Leliana. Huh. Oh, man. The fact that she also has her own dagger implies that she would have killed Leliana as well. Which, all of this circles around to the idea that the way that Divine Justinia was running the Chantry, and the way that Leliana has kind of developed into this kind of leader of assassins, it does imply that idea that Divine Justinia is not exactly this person that needs to be idolized. That she is a flawed character herself. Like, this implies that Leliana has already killed for the Chantry many times. Under Justinia's watch, her own awareness. And maybe that was Justinia's attempt to... Is there a nice and easy way to get to there? Attempt to basically say, like, you don't have to keep on this path. I feel like this is almost making me lean more towards Cassandra as carrying on as the Divine. Simply because she seems to be more willing to change the institution. How do I... No, this is back the way I came. I got there somehow. Hold on. Alright, supposedly the White Wyvern... it just sounded like there were storm noises in the background. The White Wyvern should be nearby here. Let us deal with this Gurgut.
One down!
Oh, there we go. The Snowy Wyvern. Who looks kind of like a Gurgut. And it's dead. Oh, we also needed a common wyvern as well? Oh, all right, and we have it, apparently. Okay, let us go back to Skyhold and talk to Leliana, see what she thinks about the events that transpired. Talk to Vivian, see what she wants to make with these hearts. I did not bother asking, because... reasons. And it keeps making that noise, like things are being completed. And that I do not know why. Vivian is a little bit closer. So let us go to our first. Be like, Vivian, here are your hearts. I don't know what you were trying to make out of this.
Tales of this. Age regression. Who is this potion for?
What can I do for you, my dear? Is it too much to hope that you've brought me the heart of the Snowy Wyvern?
If you want the Wyvern's heart, you'll have to tell me what you're using it for.
I can do better, darling. Give me the heart, and I'll show you what it's for. Will that suffice?
All right. 1 heart, as requested.
How kind of you. Please accept this as your payment. I must begin work immediately. You have been a dear friend, and I would like you to come with me.
Come with you where? Why? How? When? What?
This should only take a moment, Inquisitor. I'm here, my darling.
Vivienne,
Yes, darling.
it's going to be all right, my love.
My darling? Bastien?
Vivian, I'm sorry.
There's nothing here now.
Who is he? What were you trying to do? Why is this corpse trying to reconstruct classic art? That's it? That's all we're getting? We're getting spontaneously evicted from the castle after Vivian disapproves of us completing out her mission. Takes us to a room we've never been before. Gives this person some of the potion. He wakes up for a moment and dies.
Bastien is dead. I can hardly believe. It was the Wintersend Ball. My first visit to the Imperial Palace. The Circle sent a dozen of us to entertain the nobility. I was in awe of everyone and everything, and then our eyes met. Bastien spent the entire ball at my side. The Dowager tried to have him killed for slighting her, but he didn't care.
Falling in love across a crowded ballroom. Sounds like something out of a children's story.
He was a dashing rogue, and any defects he might have had were made up for with rank and importance. It was a more innocent time, I suppose. And now he's gone, and I must write to his son Laurent. And his sister will make a terrible fuss if she isn't informed first. And I'll need to arrange for the chantry services. Maker only knows how long that will take.
If I can help you, just say the word.
No, my dear. I'll handle everything. Excuse me, I have so much to do.
Hat of Majesty. Oh, but I cannot wear the Hat of Majesty. And is only available for Vivian. It's a choice. It's a look. I don't like the look. But all right, let's go talk to Leliana. And then I think we're going to be done for the day. because we've gone on for a lot longer than I was expecting. Where are you, Leliana? You're right here.
Grand Cleric Victoire wishes to make an enemy of the Inquisition. I'll give her what she wants. Doesn't Victoire have a young cousin, Lord Firmin? She dotes on him.
Yes, mistress. I believe that is so.
Good. Have him collected. He shall be an honored guest, and make sure the Grand Cleric hears about it.
At your command.
Are you okay?
Is everything under control? Perfect. The Grand Cleric and others like her will fall in line soon enough. You see, when I'm ruthless, it gets us where we need to be. It's something to be proud of. Why fix it? How funny that her regret is what finally puts my own to rest. I chose to become her left hand, knowing what it meant. It was my weakness that stopped me from fully committing to my task. You have a good heart. It's not a weakness. You are too kind, Inquisitor. Call it what it is. The Inquisition needs me just as the Divine did, to do what no one else dares. Death and deception are my trade. It is what I am. It is what I always will be.
Camera! What are you looking at? What are you looking at, camera?
So Varric knew where the champion was all along. That's the last time we sent Cassandra to interrogate. I'll leave you to your work.
Alright, so I'm leaning on Cassandra to take the place of the Divine. Because Leliana does not seem for that lifestyle. She does not seem like she should really be the replacement. She seems right at home doing what she's doing right now. Whereas I feel as though Cassandra would benefit from being in a place where she could actually change things. She could benefit from that power. Like, she has the want to change things, and if she had the means to change things, then that would be good. But for now, let's take a look at this new throne that we just got. No, not the windows. That's the... Was it the Mage Throne? That is pretty cool. Also, it's the Canary. Is that what? That's what it looked like. I'll keep it as is. Oh yeah. Oh, the decor is the Parvallon. That's why it looks like what it is. And I have almost no beds. Alright. I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with these excess operations. But for now, got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.